Okay, so in this week's topic, I was covering how to create videos for use in your classroom. In this presentation, we're going to cover some of the best practices, some of the recommended apps that I think are really easy to use that are free, and then what you can do with it after you've recorded it, which is usually the big question. So first off, our rationale for creating these videos is pretty simple. We're looking to provide potentially some lectures or lessons to our students who miss class. So if you ever have a student who isn't in attendance for one reason or another, and you spend days afterwards getting them caught up, that's a problem. So instead of doing that, why don't we flip the ball and then take the video and hand it to the kid, and then they have to watch it on their own time and get caught up. If they miss class, push it back on them. You don't have to dedicate tons of time after that lesson in order to get kids caught up. You can also use these tools to document your own teaching, such as through eye observation, so that way you can reflect on your teaching later and improve on your own skills. You can also use any of these tools to flip your classroom, and the rationale or the idea behind flipping your classroom is simple. We're looking to move the lecture and your teaching components that you usually do in the classroom to being done at home instead, and then using the in-class time much more productively by doing things that you would normally assign for them to do at home in the classroom. That way you're better able to help guide them and answer questions during the process. If you do it, you'll see how easy this is to do, and then you can get your students to do it. So some examples of that is that we can have them document their understanding and their projects within videos instead. So if you have students who are normally not very comfortable presenting in front of a class, have them record it in the comfort of their own home using their webcam instead, and then you don't have to worry about the nerves. You could also have them record lessons on how to do some different tasks or problems. So instead of us being the teacher all the time, you can push it back on the students and have them be the teachers for once. So for example, you could have your students demonstrate how to make a dado joint in woodworking class. They might be able to do it, but demonstrating that they could teach someone else is a whole other skill set. How they can do a particular math problem. The students might be able to demonstrate how to do a math problem and get the same result, just in a slightly different manner that might make sense to some other students instead of the way that you've always taught them. And then they could also use it to record, for example, a chemical reaction and then describe what is going on. Again, this is going to show them or demonstrate to us that they have a higher level of understanding than just watch, regurgitate what you just said, and then move on. So in terms of some best practices, think about your space. If you're planning on recording it in school, then make sure that the space that you're using is someplace where you can block out the noise. Cheap microphones, even like the one built into our computer, can pick up some ambient background noise. Now I'm in my middle school office. I do happen to have the door open, and I'm hoping that the kids don't really go ballistic in the halls. But I also have an additional fan above me that's making some noise. That's why I use my microphone, because it tends to help block out some of that additional noise for me. But that being said, be aware of what's going on in your space. If you are doing this, especially for the first time, you might find that scripting yourself is going to make it a lot easier for you and also help you stay on task. Some of the tools I'm going to talk about do have some limitations in terms of time, so not going off track will make things a lot more useful. And using an outline format often means that you'll stay on task, but you'll still be comfortable and not be reading constantly. I think as teachers we are used to talking off the cuff, and so reading from a script will likely make you more uncomfortable. And then also pay attention to the clutter. You'll notice that behind me I don't have a lot of stuff going on in the background, but if I did have like a TV or something, or if I had a lot of people coming in and out, or an open door behind me, then that would be very distracting to anyone regardless of who they are. And then finally, just do it. I know a lot of teachers come to me and they're like, how do you do it? I don't understand how you do these videos all the time. It must take so much time. And really it doesn't. It takes slightly longer than it takes me to just record it, because I usually give myself one take, and if this one take isn't great, oh well. I need to get it done and move on, because otherwise I could spend a whole day recording, redoing, recording, redoing. So then decide what you're going to do. If you're looking to record something that's just on your webcam, such as the little image of me that you see in the bottom corner, then you can use QuickTime Player and Photo Booth, which are both tools that already exist on your computer. I think QuickTime Player itself is really useful, and I've had a lot of teachers tell me this week that that's the one that they use. So when you open QuickTime Player on your Mac, you're just going to go up to the top toolbar and you'll be able to select what you want to record. YouTube or my webcam also will do the recording, and what's nice about that is that it does it right within YouTube, so if you want it to go onto YouTube in the end, that might be something worth checking out. Screener is another option, but with the good tools that we already have built into our computer, I'm not quite sure that that's going to be the best solution for everyone, but you can look into it. If you're just looking to record your screen, such as the presentation file that you're seeing right now, you can do that also with the use of the QuickTime Player. See, it's a lot handier than just watching videos. And then I use screencast-o-matic a great deal, which is what I'm using to make this video. The downside to screencast-o-matic is that it is a 15-minute limit underneath the free account, but frankly, if you're going longer than 15 minutes, you probably should stop because our kids will not pay attention. You'll also have the little watermark that you will see in this video in the bottom left-hand corner of every video, but it's very subtle and I don't think it's that bad at all. If you want to get more complex, you can also do a Hangout on air through Google+. Again, it is a little bit more complex, so if you're looking to do something like that, then make sure that you touch base with me so that way we can get you set up. And Jing is another commonly used tool, although I don't find it as readily used or as frequently used as some of these other tools that I've mentioned. And then finally, if you want to use both your screen and your webcam, such as I'm doing right now, again, I'm using screencast-o-matic and it's been working out great for me all year. If you're looking to do a presentation file and your video or audio recording at the same time, you can also use present.me. It's another tool that I came across. Again, I think it's basically accomplished through the same thing as the screen and the webcam options, but it is another option if you're looking for a presentation-specific recorder. If you want to store it online, the two options that I would really recommend are YouTube and TeacherTube. And then what's nice about Google Drive is that you can usually play the video right within your Google Drive. And if you share a folder of videos with students and then they enable either offline access or use their Google Drive app on their computer, then they can synchronize those video files onto their computer for watching later. So if you have students who don't have internet access at home but still need the video files, that would be a really excellent way to go. And if you're interested in setting that up, you can certainly chat with me about how to do it. And then finally, practice makes perfect. Just like riding your bike the first time, it's not going to be great. Your first video is really going to be filled with flaws. You're not going to want to watch it, but hang on to it because as you do it more and more, you'll get better and better, and you'll see just how much better you are than you were in that very first video that you ever did. My first video from this year, not very good. Keep going with it. If you do it once and you don't find it all that easy, keep going because if it's valuable to your students, then it's worth investing the time. And our students make mistakes too. So by doing so in our own videos, we're just demonstrating that we're human, and it's going to make us easier for our students to relate to us if they see that we're making mistakes in our stuff too. We're only human after all. And that concludes my webinar for this week's subject. If you're interested in using video in your own classroom, just make sure to set up an appointment with me or drop me an email and we'll get you going. Have a great day.